Hello!
So we're bringing you another best of video today, only this time we're focusing on other things we loved. Specifically music, movies, and TV shows that we really enjoyed.
It's been a great year.
It's been an amazing year.
It's been an amazing year.
I think we should start with movies.
All
because
right.
we have a lot of overlap for that one.
So here are my top 10 list of movies for 2017, some of which are also part of Alexa's list.
I didn't have a top 10, though.
My list is bigger, but her movies sort of interlap with mine. She's just gonna pipe up and go, that was mine too! Alrighty, starting with my number 10 would be, shout out to the animated DCU. I like the Judas Contract and Justice League Dark just about as much as as each other.
They were pretty good. I enjoyed them too, but they're not on my list.
They're totally not on her list. But I recommend these because I honestly believe that the animated, and I'm pretty sure I'm not alone in this, but a lot of folks really love the animated DCU. More than the live action DCU, pretty much.
With one exception.
I was about to say with the exception of
there's one movie.
With the exception of that one movie, we'll get to that in a bit. But in general, batting average, it's just the animated DCU has been killing it since.
Dark is really good actually. That's specifically the one I would.
Only because she totally loves animated John Constantine. Anyway,
sorry.
Totally fun. Number 9 would be the Power Rangers movie.
I enjoyed that one too. Not on my list, but I enjoyed it.
Okay, totally love the Power Rangers. It was kind of a shout out and throwback to childhood. It was very nostalgic. I don't know, it just meant so much that they were cool. Anyway, Power Rangers was fun. Okay, number 8 for me personally would be Coco.
Oh my god, that movie was so good. That's definitely on my list.
As coming from a country that was also kind of like had deep Spanish colonization backgrounds, there's a lot of similarities with the way they honor their dead and all of that stuff. So that was huge. That was huge. As expected. It's a wrecking ball kind of movie because that's what Pixar does. They
literally get you by making it seem so unassuming, and then by the middle you're like, why am I sobbing my eyes out?
Right, and it's not even like the way Beauty and the Beast sort of ambushes you out of nowhere.
No, this is like there's build up to it.
With like the 5 minutes that Kevin Kline sings like a few things and you die. No, this is like full on. We're gonna kill you by the end of this movie.
And pretty not much just like once. Not just twice!
Several times. Pretty much like Inside Out. So good job, Pixar. You're still
once again.
You're still at your top of your game. Okay, so number 7.
Not on my list, this one.
I really liked Justice League this year. I did. I mean, it
was fun.
It was definitely fun. I would totally watch it again.
I love the Flash. That's my contribution to this.
Ezra Miller is a great Flash. He's so good he could play any other Flash, honestly. Like, he could totally be Wally West because of the fast mouth and the everything. He could even be Bart because that's totally Bart. Just frenetic and just kind of very, very young and vibrant.
And of course Wonder Woman. My fave.
Oh, Diana. Okay.
But anyway, Macky really enjoyed that movie.
That was fun. I like Justice League. Number 6 would be It.
I did not
So
watch
I am
this
a
movie.
huge fan. In fact, It was the one thing that got me into Stephen King in the first place. I watched the old, really campy.
I started watching it with him. It was actually very, very entertaining.
Yeah.
Not scary.
Only because it's so campy. And of course, at that age, at that time, that was like cutting edge, crazy, insane. Now it's really just, my God, it's Tim Curry in a weird clown suit, and it's just weird. But the movie was cool, and I love that the scariest thing in that movie wasn't even the clown. And so that to me was a hallmark of really good storytelling. Of course, taken from the source material and translated to film. Excellent. Cannot wait for part 2. Righty, so which leads us to number 5.
On my list.
The one DC movie
that I love.
That I think of not everybody, but most people, kind of can say, okay, that was okay. As if Wonder Woman. Come on, man. I mean, for all of the, and I've heard all of the dissenting, like, you hear that whether you like it or not, someone on your Facebook is gonna rant about it. There's always gonna be. There was even that one video that went viral about how there was a support group for women who didn't like Wonder Woman, and that's cool too. I get.
I respect that.
I respect the opinions. It's just, regardless of whether you like the movie or not, that one scene where she kind of goes into no man's land, which is kind of on the nose, but why not? The terrible things we live in today are on your nose and killing it, so why can't we be on the nose with like really awesome stuff too? So that was what made everyone cry who loved it.
So good. We
were not immune to the tears of that moment.
Ugh.
She just kind of
puts
on Antiope's
actually, it's more like I wanted to like run right after her just because she's that perfect.
I'm crying right now just thinking about it. Like, I can't even, like, I just can't.
Speaking of crying,
Logan, number 4.
Oh so
my
God. So unexpectedly.
See, I sort of, like, I'm looking at my top 3. I'm looking at my top 3 right now, and if we cancel out animated movies, Logan would shoot straight to the top for 2 reasons. 2 reasons.
Ooh, spoiler.
Right? 2 reasons alone. X-23. My Laura is Laura has an origin story, and we have Logan, who I don't really like Wolverine. Like, I don't hate him, but I'm just like, oh, it's
Logan.
Right? It's just okay. First of all, I was, and if you're any of my friends at all, you're gonna know that I wasn't the craziest about the, you know, Hugh Jackman Wolverine through line. He's an awesome actor. He did great as Wolverine, but that's not my Wolverine. My Wolverine is Joss Whedon's Wolverine, where he's like, I need a beer. And that's it. I don't need, that's just, he's a thug. That's my Logan. So it's only in his older age does he get to sort of become like kind of, you know, more introspective and whatever. And so to have Hugh Jackman play that beautifully.
He was so good. That movie was so good. The acting was spectacular. The relationship and the chemistry on screen was also spectacular, and I loved it so much.
And just, it's so visually stunning. I'm not even a film like person, but it's just visually stunning. And that even the violence is magnificent. So totally had that on DVD, and I think I should watch that before the year ends.
Okay, spoiler alert. The top 3 are all animated movies, and they're also all in my list. Ha!
And they're also all made in Japan. Yes, that's right.
Not shocking. You guys will probably have heard us talk about most of them.
Most of them, right. So let's start with the one that we just recently got the special edition on Blu-ray for. And we just recently watched Your Name.
I freaking love that movie so much. Kimi no Na wa is so good. First of all, it is a visual masterpiece because
Makoto Shinkai
is just so good.
I don't even know where this guy gets the contrast and the colors.
Details.
Even his most depressing like stuff is so bloody beautiful. I can't even. There's just.
And like everything came together with this one. The story was really good and compelling, and the soundtrack is amazing. It's just and the characters, the relationship. I can't.
And it's so.
I have too many feelings.
I can't. We're just gonna.
I just love that movie so much. Okay.
So yeah, well, Your Name Marathon, which is really just Your Name. Like,
but the next movie I also loved equally as much.
Okay, so we watched this in the theaters. I was watching like Fathom events like a hawk, and the minute I saw it, I'm like, we're gonna watch this. It's Sword Art Online Ordinal Scale.
Oh my god.
How to even begin? Good. So I don't think people would enjoy this movie as much, like the highest point of enjoyment, if you didn't really watch like the Sword Art series. Right? Because there's so much.
Yeah, because the build-up happens in the series, and the movie's like
it's kind of like a culmination of what's happened. So but see, here's the thing: we missed out, and my brother is like.
We watched like. We didn't watch.
We didn't watch season 2 with a Gun Gale online stuff.
Not
but
yet.
But even without seeing that, right? Because the story is still primarily Kirito and Asuna.
My faves, my babes.
And they go full circle. I can't even. There's too many spoilers.
It's just it's so good. Again, another thing that was really visually stunning, and I liked the story and where they went with it, because I wasn't sure where they were going at the start, but then by the end of it,
we're like, holy crap! Of course, there were some moments in the movie house where I was like, if you break my ship,
oh no, me too. I was there.
I'm gonna tear up my Sword Art Online card or whatever.
I'm out of the club.
But, you know, needless to say, they did something very interesting.
See, I don't understand how they keep doing that, though. Like, they keep topping their previous story. I don't understand.
And the beauty is in the simplicity of how they do it. It's not rocket science what they did. Yeah. It's just random.
It's like, of course that's the direction you take. And of course it works perfectly.
And specifically for Kirito and Asuna.
I freaking love them.
Right? Oh my god. Okay, cool.
And of course, can't forget number 1.
So
Can I do it?
Okay, I'm very before Alexa tells you what it is, I'm very, very proud of getting her into this. And literally, I think about 5 minutes into the show, I knew she was wrecked. Like 5 minutes and I'm like, oh, you in trouble. Oh, this is over for you now. You're gonna love this thing to death now forever. And that's why it's our number 1.
Yeah, it's a movie called Whisper of the Heart. And it's produced by Studio Ghibli.
That's correct. It is my favorite Studio Ghibli
It's actually it's a surprisingly almost good mix of Western and Asian elements.
It's only Western because of Country Road by John Denver.
Not even like what he's interested in, please, and how he can.
You mean like Western, like of the West? I thought like you meant.
No, I meant like of the West.
I thought you meant like Western.
No.
Like country.
Well, That's also in it. It's such a simple story though.
And see, here's the thing, like, Japan has its own slice of life genre as far as anime and manga are concerned, but there's something kind of oddly, magically surreal about this one. And I remember watching this as a teenager, just combing through what else is Ghibli, what else Ghibli stuff is out there.
I hated him. Like, I told him, like he said, I was kind of like 5 minutes in, like, I hate you.
Because she knows, she's so invested now. Like, and I know her well enough by this time. We're like, what, married like 3 years? Like, I'll know when it's like, oh, she's gone. That's it. It's over for her now. She's gonna like literally threaten violence if we don't finish the movie or something interrupts it. And so that was fun. I am so proud of getting her into this thing because it is my personal favorite. Like, it would be sad if she was like, well, all right, but nope. Totally loved it for the same reasons I did, and I think you guys will too.
Yeah, you should definitely watch it.
It's about a girl who, and here's the kicker. It's about a girl who loves books, loves to read, likes to write a little bit. You know, she tries her hand at translating songs, John Denver, Country Road, because apparently that's a thing in Japan. And finds out that some of the library books she's read
are being read by someone else too. Same person.
Same person, same name on all of the borrowed, like, you know, like the back in the day it was like library cards. And from that moment on, Alexa was like, oh my god, and I'm just like, yes! You see that? So watch it.
Yes. So those are the top 10 movies Macky had this year, and I clearly enjoyed a lot of them as well. So now we're gonna move on to TV shows.
Yeah, I have a shorter list, really. Okay,
You go first.
Okay, I'm gonna go first with our special mentions because...
Oh, that's your...
Yeah, because special mentions meaning I just like randomly rattle them off because I think they did a great job this year for one reason or the other. I think they're excellent for one reason or the other, or they're significant to me. So, super special mention. So, DuckTales reboot. Woo!
David Tennant.
Because David frickin' Tennant.
Like, literally, that is the one... Like, it's a good show, and it's great, and I enjoyed it, but also, like, David Tennant.
Family meeting, no. Anyway, Game of Thrones.
Oh, they had some really good episodes.
They had some...
And then there were also episodes where I was kind of like...
Yeah, hi, my name's Jaime Lannister, and this is Jackass. Proceeds to drive... Pike into... Anyway. American Gods, because Neil Gaiman, yeah. Scandal, because Shonda Rhimes.
Olivia Poping his way through life.
I want to be Olivia Pope when I grow up. Like, just, like, to be awesome. Will and Grace, because they're back. And The Blind Spot, because Lady Sif. That was fun. So those are my special mentions for the year. But on my bottom list, I would go with The Defenders. I know it could have been amazing.
It could have. You know what ruined it? Let me tell you what I think ruined it.
Because she hasn't watched the series
Iron Fist ruined it.
Yeah, okay, here's the thing. I enjoyed watching Iron Fist, but I will not be the first one to say that it was the most amazing thing ever. And Alexa asked, should I watch Iron Fist before we watch Defenders? And I'm just like, nah, that's everything you saw about Danny, that's just like 13 episodes of that. So, no. But like I said, I enjoyed it, and I don't recommend it to everybody. I just am invested in that tiny little Netflix Marvel universe.
I know, I love the other characters a lot. And I enjoyed watching it. It was just like,
yeah,
can't be on my head.
And I still have a lot of problems with Defenders, but we're just talking about what did I like. I liked watching it. It was fun. It was an event, and it mattered to me. That's why it's at the bottom of my list.
You can say another
The next one would be the Flash TV series, specifically
Cisco.
Because and here's the thing, the only reason I like Flash is for 2 reasons. Number one, it's because Cisco and
everyone secondary actually is pretty damn great on that show.
But the rapport I think between the actors, and I'm talking about Cisco and Wells, is so yummy. Like, they just feed off, and I'm just like, it's almost uncharacteristic already, almost. But then they're so great. So that's my first reason why I love the series.
What was the second reason?
And the Earth X crossover, which many people, at least on my feed, say was better than the Justice League movie in terms of build up and getting a super team put together. Because hey, come on, man, that's Team Arrow, Team Flash, the Legends, and Team Supergirl. Yes, Team Supergirl. Because there's totally a Team Supergirl. All coming together to beat down some, you know, evil Nazi doppelgangers of themselves from Earth X. So that was fun.
It does sound fun. Me next.
Yes.
Okay, so, surprising no one, all of the things on my list are Asian. I have a very difficult time committing to series that are not British or Asian. Apparently.
True.
Like, it has to be one or the other. Other than that, like, it's very hard for me to stay interested in American TV.
That's not even like on purpose.
That's why Game of Thrones is like an anomaly, because it's like, it's an American TV series, but
well, yeah,
feels more like
yeah,
European. Anyway, that's besides the point. The series I wanted to talk about, I actually haven't even finished it because I have one more season I want to say to go. It's Rurouni Kenshin. Because I spent 2 months of my life binge watching the shit out of that series, and it's so much fun. Like, I know it's not the first season. Clearly, it's like one of those things where
it was a throwaway season.
No, because it's like if you don't fall in love with the characters within 3 episodes, then you're not gonna enjoy it. But then you get to the effing 2nd season, and I was literally having an emotional breakdown.
And that's really the only season that matters. Really, the Shishio arc was.
I'm literally in the room,
everything.
and like Macky's outside, like working from home, and I'm like, I scream like every so often.
Got a lot of angry texts when she's watching.
And I'm like, why are you letting me do this alone?
She's total,
it was very.
She's total Aoshi and Misao trash though.
Anyway, what was I saying? I didn't even tell you guys what the story was about. It's about a swordsman. It's a wandering swordsman who has given up the use of his blade because he's seen too much bloodshed and he doesn't want that for himself anymore. And he finds himself falling in with a girl who runs a dojo. Dojo? Is that the term?
Yeah, and it's basically
and she uses a different fighting style.
She's basically the successor of her father's, you know, her family fighting style. Which
and their little family grows with like every single episode with a new character thrown in. And it's great, and it's funny, and I love the characters a lot, which is why I stuck with it so long. But that 2nd season arc though, so good.
It's still good. The live action ones are good too.
It's amazing. Okay, your turn.
Righty. I also The Magicians. Definitely The Magicians, because again, it's what Game of Thrones was sort of like a Lord of the Rings thing, right? Where why can't it be like super serious? The Magicians is basically Narnia, but with the Game of Thrones treatment of actions have consequences, the world is more terrible than we think, and horrible, horrifying things happen to our main characters. And season 2 was magnificent. Cannot wait for season 3 coming out next year. It's just, my gosh.
We have the books, and guess who hasn't read them yet?
Neither of us. That's right, it's the both of us combined.
Okay. Oh, me next. Another series that I'm still not done with because I am... Where am I? I don't even know season-wise, like, where I am. I know it's like 100 and something episodes
but
already.
we'll know which arc it is.
I want to talk about Bleach. Because like, we have to take a moment.
Boy, do we have to
take a moment because I really did not think I would love it as much as anything else.
I didn't think she would love it.
It's about...
I didn't expect her to love the first episode.
It's about a high school boy who runs in with a Soul Reaper or Shinigami, and he ends up getting turned into a temporary Soul Reaper, and that's the entire plot pretty much of the first season.
Yeah, for the first season.
And then there's a lot of stuff that happens after that, but the reason I love it so much is because Macky underestimated the fact that the main character is pretty much everything I love.
That's true though, and I didn't
broody,
see it.
He's angry, and he's a big brother. It's terrible. Like, that's everything.
And the ship in question is the kind of love.
I called that ship in like first episode.
Well, yeah,
like,
there was nothing hidden. Shonen's pretty straightforward with the ships, but Alexa loves, and keep me straight here, she totally loves the whole we sort of hate each other, but not really, kind of angry, loud, yelly, violent.
And I really enjoy the characters too. Mostly the Soul Reaper characters.
Mostly
not so
the
much
older brothers and the captains. Oh, by the way, if we recall Alexa being like having a soft spot for captains, there are 13 in this one.
And they're not all nice though.
Of course they're not all nice, but there's a couple of them that are magnificent.
But also, I will say this about Bleach. I love it, but I also know... No, but I also will say that it's taking me so long to get through it for one very specific reason, and that is the execution of it. Because I swear to God, it's like it's intended for you to find at some point that you are literally tuning out. It's
concept and character creation wise, it's top shelf.
So good. Even the story would have been good. It's just that the way they
narrative execution
not so great.
Sleepifies really.
It's literally like the thing I watch if I need.
And now she understands why months and months ago, before I got her into this, I was like, I'm gonna watch Bleach so I can fall asleep tonight.
And I was like, I don't understand that. And then I started watching it too, and I'm like, oh.
In a way, it's kind of cheaper than ZQL. That said, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., because I'm still a huge fan of the series. I just have to know what happens next. I'm not so crazy about where it is right now, because the last time we saw them, they were no longer where they usually are. There are no spoilers there for those of you who still want to watch it, but I think mid-season finale is done. But I had a fun year this year because it was the Ghost Rider arc.
My next series is one that I haven't finished yet either, but hopefully by the time this video goes up, I will have. And it's a Korean drama. And it's called Goblin. And I have been told to watch this one since like last year. My brother told me to do that. My sister told me to do that. My mother told me to do it. It was like a whole family affair. And the thing is, You know how like when something gets really hyped up and you're like, oh, it's probably not gonna be as good. Nope. This one was actually good. It's funny and it's also emotional and it's got such an interesting story, and the way you can read so much thematically into that story is so good. Like I really am enjoying it tremendously. It is a commitment, I'm telling you that now, because it's like an hour and a half every episode.
Oh,
and there's like
no, that's
16
true
episodes.
though. Yeah, that's
I mean,
that's
it
how...
ends after the 16th episode, which is fine. But like, it's so good. Like, it's really enjoyable, and the way they filmed it too is really great. Like, they got the visuals. Like they did so good with them, so I'm really enjoying that, and it's sort of making me want to watch more Korean dramas, which is both great and terrible.
Okay.
And now it's your turn.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Full disclosure, I never intended to like this series. I never intended to watch it, nor did I intend to actually follow it.
I watched it first, but I never finished it.
But I guess I'm just so okay, and I come from the generation that grew up on Highlander and Forever Knight. I like Immortals. I like when...
Oh, you do you?
Yes, I do. And the only thing that sort of fills this void on TV these days, with the exception of that one thing where they actually were like forever, with the exception of that one, are the vampire things. So not the Vampire Diaries, but the spin-off, the originals.
To be fair, I really think the originals does a good job with, at first it was very Vampire Diaries, but then the storyline sort of found its own footing, and I think that's really great.
And I will be the first one to say that I am not so keen on them being called the originals, i.e. the original vampires. I mean, really? You couldn't have come up with something else? And I'm yelling like this because I still watched all of it anyway.
I know, he binge watched it, it was great. It was a victory for me.
Only she likes seeing me wallow in self-loathing because it's a very lovely contrast to my self-esteem, which is very high, so I can actually think highly of myself and loathe myself simultaneously, which was the whole experience of me loving every minute of this show. And I must say, Hope Michelson is the one bright shining light in that entire thing, and the actor of Klaus, the actor that
Joseph
plays,
Morgan.
and Joseph Morgan's acting was, I think...
He's really good.
I wish they would put him in more things.
Yeah, me too.
Outside of Klaus frickin' Michelson, because he's so good. He just did that intensity. Really and you know, there's only so much, there's only so much airtime you want to give a sociopath. Like, he's nuts. He's just, he'd kill you because you looked at him funny. And yet he loves his entire family. So I think that's the only reason I love the originals. It's at the end of the day,
it's also because it's about family, yeah.
And it's an immortal family. So can you imagine the insanity of that? I loved it. None of the, like, Nick Knight didn't have like an immortal family outside of Lacroix and the others. And then Duncan and his little band of merry immortals, right? So
merry immortals. I like how you say merry immortals.
Well, Duncan MacLeod, right? They're awesome. But yeah, that's my deal.
Okay, my number 2 is actually a continuation of a series that I was watching last year, and it's Naruto Shippuden, because there are 2 particular arcs that I love this year, and one of them is obviously the entire arc about Shikamaru, which was amazing. He's my favorite character, but I also like that one explored him on his own facing something that he had to face down. I think it was really well done. And
it was based on a light novel / light manga set after the events of Naruto Shippuden's ending. So that was fun.
And then there's a second one that I just enjoyed purely for the novelty of it, and it's called the Konoha Hiden, and it's basically all about all the days leading up to Naruto and Hinata's wedding. Spoiler, slight. But, you know, it was amazing. It was just hilarious. It was one of those things where it was like, nothing really substantial happened, but I got to see all my favorite characters, and that's all that mattered to me. And then the ending episode, oh my god.
Just
so
tears.
many feelings.
Just a lot of tears.
So many
because,
feelings.
You know, it's a culmination, right? It's a true epilogue to the series, right?
It was beautiful, and I love that they did that. So yeah, I had to mention that for my number 2.
And of course, my number 2 would be The Gifted, because it is to me, okay, I'll just leave it at this. The Aurora Borealis crap that goes on, I'm sorry, I have to, because I hate it so much that it's so good. I hate it that it's so good. Polaris, who has magnetic abilities.
Spoiler.
And Eclipse. No, it's not a spoiler. There's like YouTube clips all over the place. And they were a ship from the start. Like, they're together. Lorna and Marcus are together like from the start. But Polaris with her magnetic field energy and Eclipse with his light energy. G, when they get together, what happens? The Aurora Borealis, which is a symbol of their love. Like, I hate it so much because it's so good to me. Oh, look, it's that same self-loathing, self-esteem thing happening right now. Because
Kinda funny.
Because I love every freaking minute of that. My God. And that one moment where the Aurora's like showing up as they touch hands, and she's like, it's beautiful. And Marcus isn't even looking at the lights. He's looking at Lauren and he's like, not nearly enough. I'm like, damn it, that was a good line. That was a good line.
Suffice to say, Macky really enjoys the show.
It's like the best science fiction romance. Like, seriously, it's the best fluffy science fiction romance moment pretty much almost ever. Because it's so smart.
Okay then.
I'm angry because I didn't think about it. And that I love it, and that I love it this much.
Okay.
Which leads us to the number 1.
Which is the same for both of us. Let's be excited about that.
Naruto Next Generation's Boruto.
Oh my god, it's
Of course.
It's so good. Like,
Okay, we have moments where we literally, like when random character that we totally love comes out, we both literally just like screaming. Because like seriously, every single time somebody types I'm screaming like on Tumblr or whatever, we do that in real life. I don't know if these people are actually screaming when they do that,
but we do.
But we do. That happened simultaneously. We had to take a moment and laugh because it was magnificent. But we just love the series so much. We are so invested in these characters and their
I like
offspring.
that it's a very different story from Naruto. It's
and yet the
so
themes,
different,
and
but
yet
they have the same themes.
Which are
and they arrive at them in different ways.
And they're larger than just the characters that you follow along. There's larger ideals that these characters adhere to, and to see those ideals begin to take shape in the next generation, which was really what I loved about Naruto, and how it was a story about generations. It's a story about,
I love it though.
Yeah,
like
about cultural identity, even, right?
Yeah, I was excited for that series from the start because obviously it just gives me more of a chance to stay in this world. But what I love about it is that I unexpectedly have come to care for all of these like main characters so much. Like, it's just like I have a lot of feelings, okay?
God, yeah.
Every episode just gets better too. Like, it's just been so fun.
And so that rounds up our top
favorite TV shows.
TV shows.
Now we're gonna move on to the last category, which is music. Had to sing that, clearly.
That's true that we did.
Okay, you can go first.
So I'm gonna do, so a lot of these are musicals, right? But so I'm gonna start with Jason Robert Brown songs. And I Will Follow.
Love that song.
And Music of Heaven. And This Is Not Over Yet. Because those 3 are the songs that I finally got to sing this year and finally got to cover, and I finally got to really like. And he's one of our favorite composers. We just watched him in concert the other night. Those are the 3 songs that of his that I was able to sing this year and cover, and it was super fun.
Okay. Okay. Obviously, you know how, like, I don't know how many of you use Spotify, but every year at around the end of the year, they do this thing where you can see your stats. And this year they had a thing where you could guess who your top artist was, like the most listened to. Me, I knew exactly who it was gonna be. And it will surprise none of you to hear that it's Ed Sheeran. Frickin' loved his album Divide. Like, I am so obsessed with that album.
No, it's a good album.
So obsessed, in fact, that I watched his show 3 nights in a row because that's how much I love him. On that album, there are 3 songs that I really love, and those songs are Dive, which is incredible, Perfect, which is, as usual, another ballad from him, and has a lot of different versions now. There's the orchestral version with, what's his name?
Andrea Bocelli.
Andrea Bocelli. There's an acoustic version, and there's also a version with Beyonce, which, fancy. And I also really love Castle on the Hill because that one just gives me very nostalgic feelings about going home. And I totally went to Bacolod, which is my hometown in the Philippines, and like the minute I landed, I'm like, all right, got my soundtrack, let's go. So yeah. And then the second person I'm obviously gonna have to mention did not really make it onto my Spotify playlist because the album came out at the end of the year. But I freaking love Reputation by Taylor Swift. Like, I just, as usual, once again, does the thing where I'm like, I don't know if I'm ever gonna love any album as much as insert Taylor Swift album here.
Yeah, we're Swifties in this house.
Yeah. So the songs that I listen to the most off that album are Delicate, which I think is just
interesting,
fantastic from her. That one, I think I did something bad. They say I did something bad.
Which, by the way, was covered by Shoshana Bean and Cynthia Erivo, magnificent theater stars. That they covered it, I think, to me is just like already so soon, and from 2 theater legends. Yes,
so
why
good,
not?
so good.
And all they had was like a violin and like a cello.
And Getaway Car. That's the 3rd song that I freaking love.
Getaway Car, though, it's almost like a 1989 epilogue, right? Like a
so
theme style-wise.
I just love it so much. But I really love the whole album. I pretty much listen to it and Divide every single day, so there's that.
Jumping off of that, and to take a sort of break from the Broadway, I love Dress from
That's a really good song.
yeah, it's kind of it's obvious it's Wine Taylor. It's Wine Party Raunchy Taylor, which pairs magnificently and mashes up magnificently with I Don't Want to Live Forever. So I've been toying around with like mashing those two songs up, and they're fun.
It's gonna be so good.
They're fun. Well, we'll see. I'm not good enough to like make something that works yet, but the concept is there, and the counterpoints are magnificent.
Oh, the others all go together. So do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just gonna run down really quick most of the songs that are on my top 10 songs that I listen to on Spotify that have nothing to do with Ed Sheeran or Taylor Swift, because that would literally just be my top 10. So I have Katawari Doki, which is off the Your Name soundtrack. It is incredible. It's an instrumental piece, so beautiful. It just like gives me vivid feelings, not only because I've seen the movie, but because the piece itself is so moving. So there's that. And then another movie soundtrack song, Can't Stop the Feeling, Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
Love that song. Just puts me in such a good mood when I hear it.
I know, it's a
I don't
great
know, it's
song.
like one of those songs where I like, when I hear it, I'm just like, yeah, dance. Even if I'm in like a grumpy mood, I'll
Comes
just
from
be
such
like,
a pure place too. Like apparently,
I know, it's so
Justin
cute.
Timberlake wrote it for his son,
Which I'm just like,
which is amazing. And it's true. I mean, it applies. I mean, you think it's a love song, but it's for a song for anybody that you just love and they make you feel like that. It's an amazing, amazing song.
continuing on with the trend of like boppy songs, I have a song called Call Me on my playlist, and it's one that Rachel from Hello Charlie introduced to me, and it's like this boppy beat that also has like this really cute like message to it, so I love that one a lot. And then we have two old favorites that are still top of my list, apparently. We have Shut Up and Dance by Walk the Moon, which again, another song where I'm like,
that was fun. That was fun.
and a song called The Sound by 1975, which was introduced to me by my brother, which is amazing. It's one I listen to constantly, even though it's like an older song, and I love it so much.
Awesome. Okay, so now for the Broadway songs, they're kind of getting rounded up. I'm gonna...
we have one crossover.
Awesome. So Falling Slowly,
So good.
from Once,
beautiful.
holds a special place in my heart because I have two friends who come over to the house, and they come over to the house and we covered this song and kind of did a live jam. I hooked up my keyboard and my guitar,
I'll link to it if I can find it.
and a microphone, and we all just kind of just like did it, and that was fun. So Falling Slowly, another thing that and then the two Dear Evan Hansen songs that I really, really
One of them
still
is on
love.
my list too.
One of them is For Forever.
So good.
Because it reminds me of my brother, and then Only Us, because it's
That's
such
on my
a
playlist.
fun
That's the
duet.
one.
It's such a fun duet, Only Us.
It's so good.
And it really captures that kind of awkward kind of, and it's not even just high school. I think people still feel that way
Oh yeah.
at certain ages, regardless, right?
You have one more Broadway song I can see.
Yeah, and then the last Broadway song,
It's also a duet.
which is also a duet, is You Matter to Me, which,
From Waitress.
From Waitress, and only because we were able to get to see Jason Mraz on Broadway, and we're gonna see him with Sarah Bareilles. I don't know, there's just something about this song that it's just so beautiful, and I was able to cover that too, because it's fun and it's easy to figure out on the piano too. Or at least I think I figured it out with the piano. But I really liked it, and so it was a nice new thing that became sort of anthemic for 2017.
Okay, so I'm gonna do my last four really quick because they're all boppy songs, which is not shocking. We have Waking Up Slow by Gabrielle Aplin, which I love.
Oh,
it's
Gabrielle
a totally
Aplin.
new sound for her because
I love her
it's very different,
so much.
but I think it's so like catchy, and it's still, the lyrics are still so on point, which I loved. And then we have Rain by The Script, which is a song that poor Macky and Mel had to listen to every single morning for like 3 months after it came
It's not
out.
my favorite Script song, but it's good.
I freaking love that song.
It's good.
Because
Good song.
the thing is, it's like written specifically in a way that appeals to me.
Yeah, totally.
That's one.
Melody,
and then there's Slow Hands by Niall Horan, who is my favorite One Direction member. That song is amazing.
I didn't know that.
Friggin' love it. It's just like, it was a song, like the first moment I heard it, I came up with a story surrounding it. So every time I hear it now, I'm just like, I remember that story. It's great. In my head. Like nobody else knows this story. So who knows? And the top song on my playlist that is not Ed Sheeran or Taylor Swift is a song called Your Song by Rita Ora. Who, funny story, it sort of has something to do with Ed Sheeran because he helped her write the song.
Oh, hey, there you
So,
go.
I freaking love that song because it's just such a happy song. Like it's one of those songs that puts me in such a good mood, and it applies to any situation. Commuting, road tripping, at the gym, doing whatever, in my office. It's great. I love that song. So yeah, those are all my musical choices for 2017. Only Us was also on my list, but Macky already talked about that one, so.
My last two songs are James Bay songs that I didn't expect to like, I didn't expect to love.
Bay.
There's one of the stories that I'm writing that works very well with Incomplete and with Need the Sun to Break. my two favorite James Bay songs of all time. These were on repeat one, like, for the entire
I'll
year.
link to Macky's covers for them. I forgot.
Oh god.
They're on SoundCloud.
Oh god. But yeah, and so those two songs are just fun, and I had to sing them. I had to do my own version, even if, you know, I'm not a professional musician.
Speaking of those songs, who else is excited for James Bay's new music coming out next year?
How else is he gonna kill me? But I love those songs, and those are my song wrap-ups for 2017.
So we hope you enjoyed seeing our favorite movies and TV shows and musical selections. And if you guys liked the same ones, then definitely let us know. And if you have any recommendations, which you can kind of gauge based on our taste here, please feel free to leave them in the comments. We're always taking suggestions. Tell us your favorites of the year as well.
Yeah, it's been a good year.
We'll see you guys next year. Bye!